All right, so welcome back to the white bass edition of my yet to be named fishing channel. I'm Ryan. This is one of my absolute favorite spots in the world for springtime white bass. However, they do not appear to be in thick yet. Oh, mister. I stand corrected. So we've got perfect conditions right now. Wonderful water clarity, nice gentle flow, fresh fish coming out of Lake Erie. Approaching thunderstorms tonight. It is Tuesday, I believe May 8th. Look at them down there. All right. Yes, it should be. Oh, love it. Never gets old. I got this camera on the super wide view. This is a quality white bass. For bait, I'm using one of my absolute favorites, the #2 Blue Fox Vibrax spinner bait. Been a favorite since I was a child. And my tried and true trusty G Loomis ultralight, the GL2. I don't believe they make these anymore. Honestly, you can get the same quality from a Berkeley lightning rod. So we're going to be keeping today. I'm going to add at the end of this video the proper way to clean white bass. A lot of people don't like them because they say they taste muddy. Well, there's a reason for that. Key is you got to keep them alive. Water temperature is around 55 to 65 degrees. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Got my wife and son with me today. He's gonna be my little fishing buddy. He loves watching fishing on TV. All right, let's get another one. So the layout of this spot, this is a small tributary off the western basin of Lake Erie. White bass don't seem to mind too much if the human hand has altered the area, but like anything with fishing, the more natural of an environment you can get, the better. Let's see if we can get another one. These fish are pressed up in this hole over here. Look at that. That's how it should be. Two casts, two fish. You know, these are really like the band fish for adults.
There it is.
What's that, buddy? Is that a white bass? That's a good, they're stacked. All big females.
You sure you only want 6?
Maybe 9. There we go. What do you think, baby? All right. So, another thing. When you put fish on a stringer, you want to hook it through their mouth, like that. Never put it through their gills. They will die.
Watch out, buddy.
You want to catch another one, buddy? All right, in they go. Watch your little foot.
Here,
All right.
hold my hand.
You want to reel one in?
You want to reel it in?
You want to reel one in? Okay. They pull a little harder than bluegills. See if I can hook one. There's so many down there. Watch this.
Hey, buddy, ready?
Okay. Kickstart.
Oh, Daddy got one.
Yes.
You want to reel it in?
You want to reel one in? Here we go.
Yeah.
Yep, good job. Oh, he's pulling. Keep going. Here he comes. Yep. Oh, is he tugging? Keep reeling. Yep, keep reeling. You almost got him. Oh, look at him down there. Oh, he's pulling. Keep reeling. Let's lift him up. Oh, what's that? Is that a big white bass?
White bass. Can you say white bass? Gent, careful. Watch out for the prickers.
He likes to touch the spines. Should we throw him back? You want to say bye-bye?
Oh, you're throwing it.
We can be picky today. So I gotta say, this is one of my absolute favorite times of the year to introduce new fishermen to the sport. They're plentiful, they fight hard, they're easy to catch. Hey, I got another one, buddy. Here, we'll get you another one. Did we get him? Hold on. He's spiky. He's spiky. Here. There you go.
Bye-bye.
Throw it back. Okay.
White bass.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There he goes. You want to catch another one? All right. Let me see if we can catch a big one.
Here, hold my hand.
Here you go. Grab it. Reel him in. That's right. Look at that duck. Oh, he's a fighter. You feel him fighting? Keep reeling. Fishing pole. Oh, look at him down there. You see him? Here he comes. He's coming up. You almost got him. Oh, here he comes. Raise him up. You got him. You got him. You hooked him good, buddy. Hey, I'm sorry he splashed you. Here, you want to get a picture with mommy? Don't touch those, they're sharp.
Honey, look at me. Joseph.
Busy.
1, 2, look here. Joseph. Joseph. Joseph.
Look at mommy.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, throw him back. Here he goes. Boom, bye-bye. Should we catch another one? Yeah, okay. All right. Here you go, buddy. We got another one. Yep, reel him in. You're doing a good job. Oh, you feel him tugging? Feel him tugging? Keep going. Oh, he's coming back around. Yep, he's running towards you. Oh, you see him down there? There's two.
That's a big one.
Keep going. Here he comes. Reel him up. Oh, you got him. You got him. Watch out for his hooks. All right, let's get the lure out.
You know, if you think about it, this is the best fishing day of his life.
It is. Wow, look at that one, buddy. Is that his mouth? Should we keep him? You want to eat him?
Back.
Throw him back?
Yeah.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right, so there is a method to this cast with these #2 blue foxes. So I'll cast it out, let it sink for a second or two, and I do like a kickstart. Hits the water, gentle little tug, and then just start reeling. You can see my rod tips going dun, 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 dun. Sometimes you do a little pull like that. There's a fish following it. Sometimes it just entices them to bite it. The one thing with fishing these small creeks like this, these white bass will wise up. They'll start to ignore your lure. You gotta change it up. So we'll cast over here into the back part of the school and see if there's any fish that haven't seen it yet, which there are. There we go. There's a good one. A little smaller. He'll be going back. Whoa, is that another one, buddy? It sure is. He got all three in there somehow.
Want to touch?
Do that method again. So cast out, hits the water, let it sink for just a second, little kick start, just enough so that blade's thump, thump, thumping. Look at that. Oh, missed him. You can actually look down in the water too. Watch that bait. Just do it again. Cast, sink, kick start. Look at that. Got him. Simple as that. Oh, that's a big one. That's way bigger than I thought that fish was.
How big this fish is, Joseph?
This is a really good white bass. Get out of there. Ah, don't lose him. Look at that. Now that's a trophy white bass right there if I ever saw one.
You like that one I caught?
Yeah, that monster. What do you think, buddy? That fish, he's almost as big as you.
Let's go over here.
So yeah, this style of fishing, you can make it as complicated or as simple as you want. I like simple. Now for new fishermen, you know, you don't have to use these artificials. You can get a bobber, hook, and a minnow and have great success. Sometimes these white bass, they'll be extremely active, 5, 10, 15 minutes, and they'll shut off. I don't know if that's because they're continually moving upstream, they're spooked by the bait. They don't appear to be actively spawning right now. They're just simply holding in here. So, and again, like I had mentioned, this is a tributary of Lake Erie. Typically, these fish show up first in the Sandusky River, right around the end of April. And then a couple days later, the next river to the west, you'll start seeing white bass and so on. So these fish out of the central basin show up first in the Sandusky River. And then the fish that live in the western basin begin to show up over here a week or two later. But pretty much any creek, river system that feeds into the western basin of Lake Erie has got some kind of a population of white bass this time of year. You just gotta find them. So these deep bends in the river, there's a small series of rapids way up there, and they'll stage in these holes. This is a hole, that's a good hole in there. I'm not getting in the water today. I'm just gonna fish this spot. Now, take a few more casts. There's a bite. Oh, missed him. There we go. Ooh, spunky little guy. Make sure he doesn't run underneath my stringer. Now, when I was younger, I mean, it is not uncommon during this time of year. You can catch 150, 200 of these a day. This part of the state of Ohio, or at least the tributaries on the western basin of Lake Erie, there's no limit on white bass. But, you know, to what extent is enough to keep? Me, I'll keep somewhere between 6 and 12, and that's plenty. You gotta clean them properly, you know, like any fish. But you'll see later on towards the end of this video the proper method of cleaning them if you don't want them to taste like garbage. But truthfully, this is one of my absolute favorite fish to eat. Very nutritious, loaded with omega-3s and 6s, I believe. They've got a wonderful flavor. And you can deep fry them, You can grill them. You can throw them on the iron skillet. You can blacken them. So yeah, these fish are not even in here thick yet. You know, we pulled 8, 9, 10 fish out of here right off the bat, and it slows down. I've had some days here where I've spent 2 hours cast after cast after cast. Fish on every cast. And if you time it up correctly and the weather conditions cooperate with you, that can happen. It's just a matter of being in the right place at the right time and fishing with something that they want to eat. There we go. Backside of the hole. It's a good one. Yeah, they really are like just giant sunfish. Oh, look at that. Never gets old. Check your bait. Main line I'm using is 4-pound diameter Power Pro. I believe it's 10-pound breaking strength. The leader that I like to use is 12-pound Berkeley Vanish. It's very flexible, it's clear in the water, very abrasion resistant. So these fish have got sandpaper-like mouths. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Little nicks, but man, this stuff does a wonderful job. And you think 12-pound might be a little overkill. These fish are so aggressive, it doesn't really matter. Water's pretty stained. Also adds just the slightest bit of stretch in the line. Braid has no stretch. You know, and a fishing rod to some extent is just a giant shock absorber. So this helps at the moment that they strike just a little bit. Now runs the question, do I really want to keep any more? You get 12 fillets, 2 fillets per fish. And you'll see in the video later, when you fillet these out, you're only keeping this piece of meat, everything above this lateral line. This down here you don't want to eat. It's filled with contaminants. It's just red meat. It's the stuff they warn you about. All right, nice. All right, pulled that fish up there. So let's try the pipe. Right below it. There's one hitting it before it even kick started. Look at that. Oh. So, some of these white bass holes, at least in these smaller tributaries like this that I've learned, in September, for about 2 weeks, these same spots where they stage before they move upstream will hold yellow perch in the fall. Discovered that by accident fishing this particular river, and my other holes throughout the state, just little creeks that run off of Lake Erie or run into Lake Erie. Went back to those spots same time of year, and wouldn't you know, they also had yellow perch in them. So if you got a favorite white bass spot, that's a good one. You know, keep in mind, there might be a 1 or 2 week period in the fall. You can go catch some nice yellow perch. All right. That's a giant white bass. Look at that. Just a hoss. All right. All right, so you can double up on these if you need to, which we're going to today. Today is probably going to be the only day we're going to be able to keep white bass, because we've got approaching storms. The run's kind of goofed up this year, just the way the weather's been. Well, didn't want that to happen. Get in there. All right, try it again. There we go. Hopefully that holds in there. All right. That stringer's gonna get heavy. Gonna get heavy quick. Looks good. Let's do it again. Sink, kickstart, fish. So with white bass, the females will run up first. And when you start catching the males, you know the spawn is getting very close. Here today, gone tomorrow. You can see that fish has got milk coming out. Yep, there it is. That one actually looks spawned out. Back you go. Like I was saying earlier, if you're a fisherman yourself, you've got a son or daughter on the way, you want to introduce them to fishing, this is one of the best things, one of the best species of fish to introduce them to. There's a lot of life going on in the forest, the birds, the eagles. Water's beautiful, fish are active and plentiful. It's just all around fun. My son's only 2.5, almost 2.5. He likes the fishing, but that's the thing. Don't force it on them. You know, don't take them out somewhere for 5-6 hours. They'll hate it, and they'll never want to go again. So he's off exploring in the woods. Loves to throw rocks. So we went out bluegill fishing a couple weeks ago, and bet you he threw in 300 rocks in the river. We caught plenty of fish too. It's all about having fun. It ain't always about catching. Although, judging by those screams, it sounds like someone wanted to touch poison ivy and Mom told them no. Now, one thing, so we have a very, I called it fragile northern pike fishery here in northwest Ohio. Now, historically, 200 years ago, that was pike and muskies, the Esox family of fish. They were the first commercially harvested fish out of the western basin of Lake Erie. So there's historical writings of men going off of Long Beach and the beach by Crane Creek with huge nets, all the town folk, and they would net the fish as they were coming in to spawn. Now, they need clean, cool water, lots of vegetation. Much of that's been destroyed, but you'll find fishing in these tiny little areas, little remnants of the past. So occasionally you might hook into a big northern that's spawned out. Like, okay. All right, we haven't casted there yet. Let's see if there's one hiding up there that hasn't seen this bait. But I think they're all about to start doing what they do. Oh, Joseph, big one, big one, big fish, big fish. There we go. Start reeling. Start reeling. Oh, he's big. This is the biggest one you've caught yet. Here he comes. Oh, he's pulling. Oh, do you feel him? Here he is. Do you see him down there? Oh, he's pulling drag. He's pulling drag. Keep going. Oh, lift him up. Did he get caught? He's just so big. Wow. Did you catch that fish? Look at that white bass. Good job, buddy. You want your water?
He knows it's...
Okay. All right. Well, till next time, everybody. We're gonna go home, clean these up, get a nice little family photo back here in the forest. Keep on fishing. All right, buddy. Think that's good? You want to catch one more?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do one more. That stringer's getting heavy. You want to catch one more? Okay, let's do one more, and then we're probably gonna go home. And we're gonna go eat them. All right, let's see. Think there's one sitting in there? Let's see. Oh, Joseph, we got a big one. We got a big one. We got a big one. Yep. Grab that reel. Oh, reel him in. Oh, that's a big one. He's pulling drag, buddy. Oh, man. Can you get him? Keep going. Oh.
Joseph, come back. Too far away. Yep. There you go.
Whoa. Did you catch that?
My
I know.
gosh.
Look at that one. Big spikes. Is that his tail?
I think it's a girl. Is it a girl?
I think he's going on the string. I think he's going on the rope. You want to eat him? Yeah? Big tail. So, I'm going to catch a couple more of these. Maybe walk out of here with a dozen. So, white bass, if you're going to keep them, you got to keep them alive. Extremely important. So with them being a pretty oily fish, that meat begins to deteriorate almost immediately. So keep them alive. The water's plenty cold enough in the springtime. Oh, there's a good one. He got off. That's okay. We'll get another one. So keep them alive. And about 5 or 10 minutes before you're about to leave, I like to slit the gills. Bleeds them out. They're a very bloody fish. And that blood will add a not so delicious flavor to the meat. So they'll bleed out. Immediately take them home and clean them. Preferably if you can put them on ice, which I did not bring today. We'll probably stop and go get some on the way home. So like I was mentioning earlier, if you got a lot of these smaller tributaries you have access to, especially if you got access to private property legally, Ohio does not abide by the navigable waterway laws like they do in Michigan. You might run into some stray northern pike. It's a very fragile fishery, so if you do catch one, I would advise releasing it. Now, the fish is gut hooked or it's obviously going to die, by all means keep it. But they do add some excitement. Another fish that you may run into early in the white bass run are stray steelhead. Thought that was thunder, but it's the fighter jets. So the steelhead can add some real excitement. Biggest one I've ever landed out of a non-stock tributary is 34 inches long. It was around mid-March. I was scouting out some new spots for pre-spawn northern pike. Had an 80-pound fluorocarbon leader and a 4 or 5 inch twister tail. Even with stout, borderline almost musky gear, I struggled to land that fish. But it sure was fun. But I've caught a few back in here. This is not where I caught the big one. I've gotten a couple 22, 23 inchers out of here. And sometimes you'll even see them swimming. It's kind of neat. Yeah, I was hoping to maybe finish off the rest of that stringer. Got, I think, 8 or 9 on there. I was thinking maybe we'll just go for a perfect dozen, but pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. And really, we're just gonna eat them today. He loves to eat them. My wife loves to eat them. I like to eat them, but the days of me keeping 100 plus of these and filleting them, keeping them chilled, vacuum sealing them, it's yeah. We'll just keep enough for a meal or two, and that's plenty. Get a little extra, give some to the neighbors if they like it. There we go. Seems like we're running into more of the smaller males now down there. That's okay. They're still fun. They are gorgeous fish, aren't they? And they are built for speed. Anyway, let's get him back. So the other thing is too, while we're doing some fishing tips here, I've been doing this almost every day of my life from the time I was about 7 years old up until I was probably about 23. And then life gets busy, unfortunately. Now you can see the current is going this way. So when I cast that bait, I don't go much past about a 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock upstream, because you won't get any action out of your lure. Now you can get away with that with spoons. But with these spinners, it just won't work. And also, it's my stance along the river. This rod is a shock absorber. You don't want your rod pointing directly at your lure as you're reeling it in. So I actually turn my feet around a little bit, almost stand at a 90-degree angle. And as that line drifts back, you can kind of pivot your foot a little bit in your stance. And you can see just from me coming down here over the years, I've got this ground kind of rubbed. So, ooh, that's a good one. Hit it like a freight train. Gave me a little bit of an assist. He tried to jump. Oh, they're good fish. That's going home. All right. Well, I think we've got enough for the day. I'm gonna get home, clean these up, mow the lawn, because I am that kind of a guy. So now's the time, about 10 minutes from heading out, bleed these fish out, and yeah, catch a few more while they're doing that. Away we'll go.